Civilian Christianity, present day modern Christianity, has what we call in church men's group, women's group. Children's group. All right, that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. So, but the men's group are about doing contributions. That's all what they do to support the men's ministry and to support the church. And if you ask what is going on in the men's ministry, they say we meet once a month to discuss as men and to put contributions for the church. It's good. There's nothing wrong with that. But for how long are we going to continue like this, brothers and sisters? I'm not talking to our fathers. They have done their own. I'm talking to us who are coming up as men of God. I'm talking to Christians, young Christians who are coming up. The blueprint for the church now is you have a church with a faculty of transport and tourism. And this faculty of transport and tourism is there to take over the transport and tourism world in their area. We have a church with a faculty of engineering and technology. And the faculty of engineering and technology is there not just to employ the church members, but also to take over the engineering and technology world. We have a church with a faculty of finance and economy, business and economy, to take over the economy of their area, why not of their country? That's the new way to go. We cannot continue with this men's group, women's group, youth group, children's group in church. Where is the faculty of engineering and technology? Where is the faculty of peace and politics? Where is the faculty of diplomacy? Where is the faculty of law and order? Where are the faculties? Where are the faculties? How do you take over the 7 mountains without having faculties in those areas? The church should be restructured. I'm giving you a blueprint now for the church. How it has to go, of course. There are a lot of things. You will just hear this and think, oh, it's going to happen immediately. No. There are teachings you have to go through. That's why you're on this platform. There are things you have to hear, things you have to listen to, things you have to believe. That's why you're on this platform. We'll be teaching you a lot of things. The church has to go through a reformation, a transformation. Where is the faculty? Or where are the faculties? Where are they? You say you take over the 7 mountains. Do you think you take over the 7 mountains like that? No. You must have a plan. There must be a structure. That's why we are moving away from homiletics, all the ethics, into biblical physics. We now have to have courses on biblical physics, biblical chemistry, biblical mathematics, biblical science, biblical technology, biblical management, biblical banking and financing. We have to have a way. There's biblical banking and financing and finances. There's biblical tourism. Don't you know it? No, of course, it's in the Bible, biblical tourism. I have a course I teach on biblical tourism, biblical chemistry, biblical mathematics. Why? Because we have to take over these spheres in life. Of course, there's biblical AI. You think AI was just invented in our world now? There's AI in the Bible. You didn't see it. It's in the Bible. AI. It's in the Bible. What am I saying? I'm not joking. I'm not bluffing. How do you think someone like Bill Gates can be interested in church? Of course, you must come up with something better than Microsoft. Then he's going to come begging and asking, How did you do to beat Microsoft? That is the only way he can come to church. How do you think someone like Elon Musk can come to church? If we come up with something better than Tesla, he's going to come running. Do you think God is short of ideas? Do you think the world has more wisdom than God? The Bible says many complicated sided wisdom of God resides in God. God is looking for people to give this wisdom to. I see you crying in the four walls of the church, and your mind is technology, and you're asking, how do I express this? You need biblical technology. That's what you need. When biblical technology comes, the wisdom to come up with technological apps will be given to you. Look at the big denominations we have in our world today. Not even one of them is in technology. Not even one. Not even one of them is in industrialization. Not even one. What are we doing? Of course, they are our fathers. They have done theirs. I'm talking to you and challenging you, you young man listening to me now. It's not the fathers. They have done their own. But imagine if they decided to do industrialization. The big men of, I will not call him, the big men of God we have in our world. They have the money to enter into industrialization and beat the world in industrialization, but they are not doing it. They have the money, they have the cash to get into technology and beat the world in technology, but they are not doing it. Some of you are here. Listen to me. God has shown you big dreams. How you have business. You have this. You think the business is just to have money? No. The businesses are there to take over the world in those aspects, in those areas. We must change the narrative. We must change what we do. We must change the curriculum, what we study, from homiletics, hermeneutics, all the ethics, exegesis, all this rubbish, garbage. We study in the Bible school or Bible schools. We must change it. We have to come up with a Bible school that has biblical physics, biblical mathematics, biblical chemistry. That's the only way we can receive the many complicated sided wisdom of God. God has wisdom to give in the physics world. God has wisdom to give in the technological world. God has wisdom to give in the agricultural world. God has wisdom to give. Where are the people? Where are the hearts? Where are the souls of men crying and panting for it? Oh, we are going to have apostles and prophets in the agricultural world, fighting in the agriculture. That is where their own battle will be. And they'll be serving God in agriculture. They'll be serving God in physics. They'll be serving God in mathematical world. They'll be serving God in technology. They'll be serving God in sports, athleticism, preaching the gospel there. Oh, where is the armies of Joel? That's what I'm crying. The armies of Joel. The armies of Joel. We have a lot to talk about. Shalom. God bless you.